a little bit about how you got there.
Yes, I'd love to. So yeah, you're exactly right. No one walks out of college and then sits in the chair, as we in the industry call it, right? So it's just that just doesn't happen. I started interning as a college student. Internships. Please, everyone that is looking to get into the industry, find yourself an internship. And when I started interning at Fox, I just kept coming back, to the point where I remember producers looking at me saying, like, what, you're still here? You don't have to come every day. But I just loved it. So winter break, interned, worked for free. Summer, worked for free. Spring break, my friends went to Cabo. I went and worked for free. I drove 2 hours each way. And I worked for free, which meant I had to waitress on the weekends. And I had 3 jobs while I was in college because I had to figure this out. So that's really where I started. And I interned at Fox every chance that I possibly could. I just kept coming back. And then when I graduated, I had a job. Now I was a production assistant, which meant I made $100 a day. I still drove 2 hours each way, which means I probably spent more money in gas than I was making each day. But it was the fact that somebody was going to pay me to do this blew my mind. And so that's really where it began. And when I got into the industry, there were very few women. And so I very much I had to work twice as hard for half as much. And I was going to learn and be everything that I could so that they wouldn't send me home. And so I would listen and I would pay attention. So if I overheard someone say that they were looking for this job, I would look it up on the internet and I'd ask questions and is this something I could do? And then I'd say, hey, can I volunteer to do that? And I want to learn how to do that. My first real full-time job where I was making more than $100 a day was in OAP, which is on-air promotions. We had an editor who was overworked and he would sit and edit all day. And at 6 o'clock, he would leave because of the famous "my wife will kill me if I don't get home" line that this industry loves and I could never use. And so when he would leave, I would sit down at his Avid and I would practice and I would make mistakes and I would mess stuff up and restart. And the next morning he would see some of his work was done. And so I was helping him. So he would then help me. And I realized if I learned how to edit, that was just one more reason that they would want to keep me. And then if I, knew how to AD, I was one more thing. I'm not a huge numbers person, but I knew the Lakers needed a font coordinator. And could you imagine traveling with the Lakers yes. How do I learn how to do that? So I just studied every graphics possible. I asked questions and volunteered for that job. And so that really is where that kind of started for me. And then as I learned how to edit, I knew that was going to help me to get to the next position. And you have to be your own advocate and you have to, constantly say, what else can I do? But that's really where that trajectory happened. And it takes time and it takes proving yourself, and it takes going through. The industry is just like any sports team. When you're a rookie, you're a rookie. You got to carry the gear and deal with it. But when it's your chance to shine, hopefully you find yourself in the right spot.